Welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. We have completed some of the locations in Glenebon, and it's time to just complete the rest of them as well. Since we're all up here, I wonder if this has anything, or if it's just... Okay, that indicates that there should be, or could be, something here. Let's go back there. I guess we can just go this way. And back up there. Shrewish Gulch, that's a very weird name. Our way was blocked by a huge crevice in the ruddy rock carved out by wind and rain. As wide as 3 or 4 humans lying end to end, and at least 3 times as deep, it stretched in both directions as far as we could see. Looking down over the cliff, I saw something that made me wince. Among the rocks on the sandy yellow ochre floor was a body. We inspected the wall of the gorge, trying to determine how difficult climbing down would be. It wouldn't be easy to climb down where we were, but a few dozen steps away we found a good combination of bulges, cracks and ledges that would make for a somewhat more convenient path. After a bit of planning, we had plotted a route that even an amateur climber could handle. One of us agreed to be the first to climb down the path we had chosen, so they could help the rest afterwards. I think we'll send Ekon down. After rubbing some dust on his hands and peeling off his boots, Ekondayo dropped below the cliff edge and started climbing down. His deft fingers found purchase in even the smallest cracks, and his feet found secure footholds along the way. Soon, Ekondayo smiled and waved up to us from the bottom of the gorge. After a brief rest, Ekondayo caught the knapsacks we threw down to him. Spreading our blankets and coats on the ground and strategically scattering what pillows we had around, he prepared to help us. And one by one we started climbing down. Voices echoed among the rocks, advice from those who had reached bottom mixed along with some good-natured teasing, laughter with arguing. Suddenly a stone slipped from under someone's foot and fell right towards the head of those already on the ground. Oh, poor Caledorn. He had just started taking a drink of water and wasn't paying attention. Don't underestimate the dexterity and reflexes of a seasoned adventurer, though. Hearing our cries, he immediately jumped away and drew his weapon, looking around in a panic as the stone landed beside him with a loud thud. Our whole team finally made it down to investigate the dead man's body. We had guessed right. The poor fellow had clearly died on impact. A lot of different types of gear had been scattered around in the sand. Armor, tools, even scythes and hammers. It was clear that this was much more than a single person could carry. We searched the dead body and looked at what had been scattered across the sand. The gear in the knapsack on the man's body were well preserved, but most of what we found lying on the crevice floor was corroded and useless. Spearheads and swords crumbled at the touch, and the armor had so many holes it looked like delicate lace. If not for the poor condition, there'd have been enough to outfit a whole regiment. We also noticed something that couldn't be seen from above. A large stone stood blocking a hole in the wall. A sickly sweet smell leaked out from the dark, narrow crack that remained. We decided to enter the hole in the rock. We all pushed the stone together and it moved with ease, only to immediately release an incredible stench into the air. We had found a small cave, but what was in it? Gods, it was full of charred, half-decomposed bodies. And lying among them were huge grey eggs, covered with some sticky slime. We tried to determine what the eggs were. We had never seen anything like them. But one of our party members recalled a story they had heard from a traveling scientist late one night at a roadhouse. Drunk as could be, the gnome laughed as she recounted a tale from some desert nomads about a gigantic worm capable of killing you with a single touch and shooting lightning from its eyes. Anytime a caravan was lost to the sands, the nomads blamed it on these worms. The female worms were said to gather dozens of corpses together to keep their eggs warm, with the extra benefit of providing a food source for the newly born worms, other than their own brothers and sisters. Most citizens and academia at large dismissed the story as superstition, of course. That was when we heard some strange sounds, like someone moving huge mounds of sand nearby, and the sound was coming toward us quickly. We decided to break the eggs. We drew our weapons and struck the disgusting eggs. Our steel sank into the hard skin and gooey green slime oozed from the eggs. There was suddenly no air to breathe. Tears streamed from our eyes, our throats grew raspy, and we started coughing. It wasn't long before we had to evacuate, but not before we'd managed to destroy over half the clutch. The noise continued to grow louder, emphasized with strange dull sounds as though the ground itself were muttering in some otherworldly language with a dry, coarse tongue. And then a wave of sand rose from the far entrance of the gorge, and the rest of the wave was coming straight for us. We rushed to search the corpses. The corpses had been ravaged, covered with gigantic tooth marks and burned by electricity and acid. Most of the clothing and items were unrecognizable, they were so eaten by the acid. Even the cave walls had been polished down by it. We did manage to find a golden ring with a gemstone on one dead woman's finger, the corrosive substance unable to damage the king of metals. A fountain of sand and dust erupted not 100 steps from us. From the ground emerged a gigantic oblong head, attached to a long muscular body with no shoulders. The creature clearly resembled a worm, but it was thick as century-old oak. Its hide was covered with warts and oozed a sticky yellow secretion, leaving a wet trail along the sand. Lightning shot from its gaping mouth, lighting up its immense throat. The air took on the smell of a storm as the monster barreled toward us. And then Caledorn screamed what we were all thinking. Run! But where? We scattered and looked for shelter. Oh, failed. Oops. Most of the team dropped their backpacks and slipped into a crack in the crevice wall, but Caledorn, trying to enter last, couldn't fit in no matter how hard he tried. Swearing profusely, he laid prone behind the huge boulder that covered the entrance to the cave. We all held our breath. The worm was so close we could see its dull, tiny eyes. Only the giant beast's heavy breathing and the hissing sound of sand dissolving as acid dropped onto it broke the oppressive silence. The monster swayed its head back and forth, seeking until it hit its nose on the boulder Caledorn was hiding behind. And he flinched. The Leviathan let out a wild roar and flung the boulder aside before losing a lightning blast on our companion. We heard a blood-curdling scream and, well, after a few hours, the monster went back underground. We waited for night, and after making sure we could see and hear no trace of the worm in the area, we picked up our companion's lifeless body and rushed to leave the damn place. Okay. Nothing interesting left here. I guess that could have gone better at the resolution of that, but now we need to rest. Now we go to the Two-Faced Hill. It's an interesting name for a location. Not too big. Werewolf from Tegreth's family. Well, that did some damage to poor Caledorn. Tribal fetishes and a few masterwork longswords. There's probably a cave up here then, with Tegreth. Surprise, surprise. Well, in we go then. Let's cast that there. Tegreth, werewolf from Numeria. I didn't have anything though. It's a dead person in here though. With an amulet of natural armor +3, an agile S-stock, the recipe for white rose oysters, and a bent wrench with the Technic League's brand. That's probably part of one of the storyteller's artifacts, I would presume. Well, off we go. Don't need any of this. And then we need to go to the mysterious shrine. This looks like the bald hilltop. Is another one of these cursed locations? Earth? The nearly erased inscription reads, "Farewell, my queen. Death was the best gift we could give you." Don't leave. The megaliths, they must be placed in the correct order. This will loosen my chains. I was betrayed by my faithful. Now I seek help from a stranger. The Ravenous Queen. The strange ghost of an elven woman begged for our help and asked us to place the megaliths in the correct order. What is this correct order? Is there anything around here that can give us a clue? Okay. This doesn't really make sense. 4, 3, 5, 5, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna look this up. Right, so this is just one part of several shrines. And apparently this one is supposed to be there. So I'll just leave it there. Okay, let's grab the rest of the roads here. Fight this random encounter. Amiri, can you charge that one? Well, they die easily enough. Setting up the road here. Claim these deer. And let's camp.
Maybe you wouldn't be so weak if you ever tried to lift something heavier than a leaf.
Well, that's why you're here. To do the heavy lifting and to kill the big monsters. I'm here because of my supreme intellect and impeccable talents.
It is very difficult not to like Jubilost. Something is happening in the kingdom. Jubilost was successful. The treasurer offered to generously reward anyone who turned in the thieves. Informers found this tempting and the thieves were quickly caught. +3 economy and 450 BP. That's nice. And we also failed an opportunity that I didn't assign anyone to. Why are you assigned to this? Let's just grab the road. There's another mysterious shrine. They are apparently dotted around the landscape of the western region. Another thing in the kingdom again. Valerie, the village has developed into a town. Which one? Ah, I can upgrade one myself. Well, I think I want to upgrade Port Kugo. maybe not. Let's take Villa do Escao and up... Oh, I can't upgrade that. I can upgrade Pepsburg to the next level. I can also upgrade Port Tunefix. I'm guessing they need to have all the buildings built. I'm trying to enter this one. Thank you. So this can be upgraded. Okay, let's upgrade that then. Do I want to build anything here? That's the question. Goblin quarters. First of all, let's see if I can upgrade things. Upgrade the tavern to an inn, the longhouse to a town hall, the barracks to a garrison, shop to a trade shop, the smithy to a foundry, the shrine to a temple. Can build a fort, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. Most of the things here we don't really need. We have a teleportation circle here. Guess we can upgrade the walls. Guess the only place this could be built is up to where I built the teleportation circle. That wasn't very bright, but... oh well. This is a longhouse or town hall. Aviary. That's something I definitely want to have. Can I build that in other places as well? Can I build that in Varnhold? Because if I can, oh yes I can, I definitely want that. Just give me the regular map, please. The rest of it is inside the kingdom, but by building that there in Baldur I can access the kingdom from attacks when I go in there. I should also build one for Kugo. But I am worried that it needs to be... yeah, it has to be town before I can build an aviary. Oh well, enough of that. Let's find this raspberry gully. seem that winter is finally past. Whoa. How about you cast a fireball there? What's the deal with that druid? Piece of sky metal. As you search, you notice an envelope inside the bush. It is hanging from a branch by a fine chain that runs through the envelope's black wax seal. The seal is in the shape of a skull, and the chain runs through its eye sockets. Examine the envelope closely. Taking a closer look, you realize the seal isn't simply black. It seems to absorb the light. There are faint dark circles inscribed on the envelope along the seal. Detect magic. An ominous seal on the envelope bears the traces of magical influence. Take the envelope off the branch. As soon as you touch the envelope, cracks begin to spread across its surface with a faint crackling noise spreading from the seal outwards. The envelope turns black and disintegrates in your hands. Moments later, all that remains of the letter is a tiny scrap in your hands. We have a fragment of a mysterious letter. In here? Yeah. Your seal has not gone unnoticed in Nidal. We are pleased by your success, and this means Zon Kuthon is pleased as well. The Umbral Court requires a new agent in the Stolen Lands. By Yellowunder's insistence, the Circle of Druids recommended. Okay. That is slightly ominous. For a place with the name Raspberry Gully, I would say that is very ominous. You'd think that would be a cozy, nice place with raspberry bushes and all the things, but not so. Get the road here. And then we have the country road. And I do hope that tip isn't because there's a lich here, because that would be slightly annoying. Wolves got to the poor horse, harnessed to the cart as it was. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to fight wolves then. That is rather useful though. Oh, skillfully crafted stone golem. Thump. A marksman's headset. Oh, that is useful. It's also an unsent letter. My darling, I'm writing this while taking a rest stop in the Glenebon wilderness. Don't be surprised, but I finally decided to get out of Pitax. I'll miss the magical potion dear Karn Viril sells, but that is fine. I brought a supply of it with me. It'll come in handy when we celebrate our reunion. As for my homeland, things are getting worse and worse there. Yerovetti's appetites grow, the guards are fighting with the Thieves' Guild, the old trade houses keep making new schemes, and even the Academy of the Arts has been said to have some new free thinkers appearing from time to time. I'm sure that pot will boil over sooner or later, and I'd prefer not to be there when it does. I also look forward to seeing you. In the meantime, the letter cuts off here. The dead wizard looks strangely peaceful. You see no wounds or bite on the body. Very curious. It doesn't really seem to be anything else there. Guess we could put that marksman's hat on the head of Ekken. Well, no, not really. You already have that. And this one is clearly better. And Harim, you're wearing the professor's hat, so that's definitely a no-no. Don't really have that much perception. I mean, you have 25 and you have 25. Nah, I'll just sell it then. Okay, so we have a mysterious shrine down there. Okay, so this is the next row. I think it's supposed to be there. The nearly erased inscription reads, "You won't forgive us, my queen. Neither will we." And except for that, there is nothing of interest here, it would seem. Not even a mushroom. Plant of any kind. Let's nab that road and then go back there. And then we can get this road and that one. I don't think there's anything else left. So I think that was all of the sites in Glenebon, which is exactly as we wanted it as well. So I think that this is... oh, that one is actually available for claiming. So is that one. Well, okay, I'll do that before we end the episode then. Probably not the most...
May's loyal servant was captured, and the goddess left him to the mercy of fate. Are gods of light as kind as their priests say, or did she reject him, as Torag rejected me?
Loving parents don't solve all their children's problems. They teach them to do it themselves. That is what Torag wanted, and for that, you rejected him, not the other way around.
Wise words, I suppose. Let's go up there and claim this one. Rather, I haven't visited it, so we have to go there first. Oh, random encounter. Easy enough. Stonework, greatsword, and a hide armor +1. Go. 62 out of 100 on the achievement progress. There we go. Let's claim this one. And then we need to go down there. And claim that one. Okay, so this is a good place to end the episode then. That is exactly what we shall do. And the next episode, I think we need to go back to the capital and maybe level up some of the stats. But I will figure that out when we get to the next episode. We have 89 days left here, so... But for now, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next one.